Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to do something a little different compared to the other things that I usually record, and I'm going to do a plant tour. I love these kinds of videos. I really enjoy watching them, and I've also become really interested and have been learning a lot more about plants. So I hope that whatever brought you here is probably because you also love plants or maybe want to start a plant collection. Um, I just want to say that this has taken me about like 6 months to accumulate all of these, maybe a little bit longer. And I just want to kind of like go through all my plants and just kind of talk about them. I hope you enjoy this kind of video. If not, I guess you can just go ahead and click off and find something that it actually interests you. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started. This is probably where the majority of our plants live. We don't have like a ginormous collection like a lot of like plant YouTubers, but I do feel like we have more plants than the average person. I'm just gonna kind of go through like each section where there's like a nice concentration of plants and just go from there. So this corner right here has our rattlesnake calathea and then our jungle boogie philodendron that we actually just recently purchased. I love the fenestrations on these leaves. They're very unique, and I like that they're kind of like, I don't know, shapes of clouds. They're just so adorable in my opinion. The rattlesnake calathea is probably an easier variety of calathea in my opinion. I had a pinstripe one and like instantly killed it, probably because I used water that it didn't like, but so far this one's been pretty happy. We did move it because it looks like the leaves have gotten a little burnt, but I think it's happy in its new home over here. On the other side of the TV is this kind of, it's called like a Swiss cheese plant. It is reminiscent of the Monstera deliciosa, but it's Monstera addisoni, I think. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing it, but you can always look it up yourself, and I will try to leave names of plants in the comments if anybody asks like exactly what they are. Right here is like kind of like my craft corner, so it's kind of messy. It has like me and my daughter's like crafty stuff, so I'm not gonna apologize for it. This is just like a perpetually messy corner. So this is like one of our Dracaenas. I love these kinds. They're kind of like this faux tree and they get very woody, and I just really enjoy the look of these. It's like you can have a tree in your house without actually having a tree. And these can get pretty big too if you let them. This next Dracaena is called A Song of India. We just picked this one up too. We really love how like the leaves just curl like this, and the pattern on it is just very beautiful and unique compared to some other Dracaenas that we have. I think we have like maybe 2 more to show you. So these are just 2 varieties. Dracaenas are so cool because you can get all sorts of varieties. This is, I think, a heart-shaped philodendron, and as you can see, it is so cute. I have some other heart-shaped plants like this I'll show you in a little bit, but these are incredibly easy to care for. They practically take care of themselves. If you're like new to plants, I would recommend getting a plant like this one, or a pothos, or another kind of variety of philodendron like that. So this is the shelf that we keep like one of our like bright light loving plants, and I just love this hanger. I did try to find it in other places, but it was just more convenient to get it off of Amazon, unfortunately. But I do really enjoy this just because I was able to display a lot of my smaller plants here and provide them the bright lights. It's just kind of like, I think this is one of our neon philodendrons. I know it's not a pothos because Tyler and I just like recently talked about that, but it's just such a beautiful plant. I'm so happy that it's in our collection. I think this pot also really suits it. this plant right here, I don't know what he is exactly. I did try and figure it out by asking some people in a plant group I'm in. It's definitely some kind of aloe, but he's not pointy at all. He's got some like kind of like interesting edges here, but he's really chonky and I love him. He's just so weird, and when I saw him at Walmart, I just had to have him. He's been growing kind of wonky, probably because I didn't give him enough light initially, but hopefully I can like put him right here and he'll like try to move towards the light. So we'll see where that goes. This next plant that we have here is just like this kind of like really old variegated pothos. It's just got some really great you know, alternative coloration to it. There's some solid green leaves, there's some white and green leaves. It's just such a unique, cool plant. Here's one of like my oldest plants that I own right here. It's just some kind of variety of aloe. It's produced so many little pups or like babies. There's one right here, one right there, and then we have one right here. So there's a lot of plants in this this pot right here, and I have another one of its children in my kitchen that I will go over later. This is a Hoya carnosa, sometimes known as a Hindu rope plant. This was such a good deal. I feel like I find this like for really expensive prices just for like one of these strands, and this was $7 for like 4 strands, so very pleased with that. This is a ZZ plant that we cut. We kind of separated it because it was incredibly root bound, so I'm gonna take this baby to work with me. And then this is our Prince of Orange right here. He's a tiny little guy, but he can get real big, and I'm very excited about that. This is a watch chain plant, or chain watch plant. I don't remember. Anyway, he's so cool. No, wherever you like face him, he's going to like kind of move his strands towards, and just a really cool guy. This is our string of pearls here. This is actually 3 or 4 plants. 4 plants combined. We had a pretty pitiful string of pearls, and then we got some like strands for a really good deal at a nursery, so we just kind of combined them all together. So really happy with the result of this one. String of pearls are kind of like set them and forget them. Like, don't try to baby this plant. It will come back and bite you if you do try to like water it too much. Like just leave it alone is what I'm trying to say. This is an aluminum plant. It's a variety of Peperomia. I actually received a cutting of this, and it was one of my first plants that I had, but unfortunately I murdered it with too much fertilizer, so boo on me for that. But I learned from my lesson. I was sad about it, sad enough to replace it, so here is another one of those. I have to like move around here so I can show you the other plant next to it. This is a polka dot plant, so cute. We unfortunately put it in a way too big pot, so it got really ugly and leggy, but now we kind of downsized it and it's a lot happier. This is a lipstick plant that I killed all of its brothers and sisters on accident. It was so tragic. Again, my fault for putting too much fertilizer in it, but we saved 1 strand before that happened, so it's happy here. So sad. This twister lipstick plant was kind of hard to find. I did eventually find it again though, and I will show you what that plant looks like in a little bit. Here is another variety of Dracaena. This one's really beautiful. It's got like some pink edges here with some like, you know, variegated white lines and green. Such a pretty plant. Really enjoy this one as well. They're very easy to keep alive. If you have a black thumb, just get a Dracaena. Just, you know, kind of set them and forget them. Here are a couple of our philodendrons here. We kind of got some cuttings because one of our plants weren't doing as well as we had hoped. So we figured that it would be ideal to just kind of like separate them and give them new homes. I put this plant outside, unfortunately, so it did get burned. Don't put your monstera outside in direct sunlight. It will hate you for that. Here's a really beautiful leaf, kind of an example of like a more mature plant, but they can get really, really great fenestrations the longer you wait. Here is another one of our Sansevierias. I think it's a samurai star shaped snake plant. It's actually very unusual that it's become this size, and I don't know, we're really happy with this guy. It's huge despite the fact that it barely gets any light at all, so very, very satisfied with this plant guy. Okay, so on to the kitchen. It's not picturesque by any means, but I did try to tidy it up. It's kind of funny how you prepare for a video, kind of like you're preparing for friends to come over. LOL, friends, huh? But this is just kind of like a little terrarium of, I guess it's not really a terrarium. A terrarium, I guess, actually has like some kind of glass involved, but this is just kind of like a hodgepodge of plants that we've cultivated over the years. This was from a friend in Detroit. He actually inspired me to really start collecting plants, and this was something that fell off of one of that aloe plant, so I stuck it in dirt and wanted to see if something would happen with it. We'll see. I think it might be dead, but it seems like green and like okay. I don't know. We'll see what happens. This is a wrinkled Peperomia native to Brazil, and I love Peperomias because they're really good at letting you know when they're sad and they need water. I just think this is such a cool, unique plant. I love touching it. It's got a good feel. The flowers aren't the cutest, but I don't care. I love ugly plants. I think they have a lot of character, so I really enjoy this one. Here are some of my plants near this window. Come on, focus, focus. There we go. It's got out one of our monsteras that we had to chop up because it was just like so unhappy. I think it was just because like the kind of soil it was in when we got it was just not the right kind. But he's bouncing back. We cut off like all of the problem children. So hopefully that will kind of fix it up, and I don't know, it'll be good as new again. So some nice fenestrations. Here is another Dracaena. You can probably see a pattern. I don't really know what variety this one is either, but I really love the pattern on its leaves. This one's got some lime, some white, and a dark kind of foresty green. It goes throughout the center of the leaves. Just such a happy plant. Here is another aloe. Again, if you struggle with keeping plants alive, aloes will treat you really nicely. You can give this to anyone with a black thumb. So easy to care for. This guy was legitimately in our basement and still produced like 2 new plants here. So they're just awesome plants. Totally recommend. He was next to a window in the basement, but still not that much light. Here is our lipstick twister plant. So happy when I found it, also for a really good deal, so reasonable, at a place called Fern. I'm so happy with it. I was so sad about losing that lipstick plant before, but here she is in all her glory. I promise not to kill you again. But yeah, that about wraps up all the plants that I have in my kitchen. So next up are some ferns that we have up here. There's not a whole lot of plants in our bathroom. It doesn't get like excellent light, but there is a window here, which I really appreciate. I love having a window in our bathroom. So it just really allows these plants to be super happy. This is a bird's nest fern, and then this is a crispy leaf fern. It's like supposed to, like, I guess the explanation or the description is that it's like a crispy bacon fern, which I think is kind of cute and funny, but I love it. It's so unique. I think it has a lot of personality. I even kept it in the original container it was in because I was like, that's fine. Here is a succulent I've been able to keep alive. Most of the time, these guys are not happy with me. Seems okay in the bathroom. I did have to pull off a couple of dead leaves, but there are some new babies that are right here, so well, I'll keep it in here for now, keep a close eye on it. I just try not to overwater these guys because I know how that goes. But yeah, that about wraps up our bathroom. It's not exactly the cutest place, so we'll just go ahead and move on. Here is my bedroom. It's still like a work in progress, so we would eventually like to put more stuff in here, but right now it's kind of just like where we like to sleep until it's nice to have like not so many distractions. At least that's what my husband says, so I'm gonna just use his explanation as to why our room is so like boring. But we'll just go ahead and check out these guys right here. This is a ZZ plant, also really good plant for people who are very bad at keeping plants alive. This one should be good. I've only had it for a few days, but that's just like what Plantarina has told me, so I'm gonna, you know, just basically accept her word on that. This is an ogre-eared jade plant. Jade plants are really the only succulents that I can keep alive. Every other succulent is just destined to die. And here is our little test tube area where we just kind of propagate things. I prop lifted this guy from Chick-fil-A because they're probably just going to throw those away anyway. So if they don't throw them away, I'm sorry. I just really wanted it, but it already appears to be rooting, so I'm excited to put this in our little hodgepodge of succulent slash plants that are just a little bit easier for me personally to keep alive. So this is the snake plant that we got at IKEA a few months ago as well, and it is a Sansevieria cylindrica. So it's got these really unique cylindrical leaves, or whatever. And you can actually manipulate them so that way they curl up a little bit. So we've put some twisty ties on them as well as some hair ties to encourage it to sort of twist up on itself. It was looking really awkward, almost and just kind of sticky before we did this. So hopefully this will just sort of help it train and just give it a more, I don't know, interesting shape. And move on to this. This is one of our monsteras that we got at Kroger. It's doing so well. Like, these are all brand new leaves. Like, look at that finish. It's so glossy and beautiful. Like, this is like the monstera that I wanted when I really first started collecting plants. This is another really happy, beautiful leaf here. It's just so gorgeous. I'm really happy with it. I know this is such like a trendy plant that everybody is wanting. A lot of people really want those variegated ones, but this is just so great. I really enjoy this plant a lot. I try to share this with friends so that way they can also enjoy monsteras, because I think paying $40 for this guy is just like a sin. Like, not necessary. Oh, it got kind of bright in here, but yeah, I would keep this kind of next to our window over here, and it seems to be, you know, thriving and being pretty happy. This is another plant that I recently got. It's actually grown so much since I got it. This is one of the plants that I ordered online. I can't say that I like recommend ordering plants online because I've only had this one for like a few weeks now. but so far it seems happy. I love the pink underneath some of the leaves. They're just so precious. This is a string of hearts, and they're very hard to come by, at least where I live. So I'm gonna try to just let this guy go and not, you know, baby it too much. I don't want to kill it because they're so difficult to find. But if you see one in person and it's like a full one for like 16-20 bucks, buy it because you're never gonna find it again. But yeah, my string of hearts, love you. All right, I think that's really all of them. So that about wraps up my plant tour. I hope you really enjoyed it. I love watching these videos. I'm probably even going to come back and actually watch my own video for once because I just really enjoy these kinds of videos. I think they're kind of fun. Just seeing like where people put their plants and stuff, and their decision making when it comes to like kind of like the interior design aspect of it. I am no interior designer by any means, but I'm still learning. This is the first time I've really tried to make my house a home. I feel like where I'm, you know, making things more like a permanent living situation. So there's definitely a lot more work that I want to have done on my home just so I can make more room for plants, because I definitely have some pots waiting for them. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like and a thumbs up. It lets me know that you liked videos like this, and perhaps I will continue to change up the content of my channel. So have a great day, evening, whatever time you are watching this, and I will see you guys later. Bye!